What stood out to me the most, though, is the offensive line has come together. And I think, to me, if you give Patrick Mahomes time, he's fine. Like, honestly, it might not even matter who's out there. And then when Rashee comes back, those shallow crosses that he runs, now what do you have with the offensive line to be able to run those? You have time.
Good day, my friends. Welcome back. I'm BJ Kissel. This is 10 Things here on KC Sports Network, the #1 source for Kansas City sports coverage. The Chiefs get back to 500 now at 3-3 after that 30-17 victory over the Detroit Lions. Patrick Mahomes becomes the fastest quarterback in NFL history to toss for 300 touchdowns, doing it in just 139 career games, 8 games faster than Aaron Rodgers, 12 games faster than Dan Marino, and 21 games faster than Peyton Manning. And here to break that down and so much more is our friend James Palmer. You might know him as the co-host of Scoop City on The Athletic, or as a national insider at Bleacher Report, and doing his podcast with Steve Smith. I know him as one of the good guys in NFL media. James, thank you for joining us once again.
Oh, I knew we'd be talking again. I knew we would. And I knew a lot of what we said last time was right, because we're two pretty smart guys. That's what I'd like to say.
I've had an epiphany. People that know me are going to laugh, but I thought about this the other day, that I've been kind of labeled as a homer. You know, like you're a shill. You're just going to say things positive about the organization. You work for them. You're not going to say anything negative. Maybe everything I've been saying, since like 2018, like since I got comfortable with the job at the Chiefs, James, maybe I was just right.
Yeah, maybe we're right.
Maybe I was just right this time. I was the right guy in the right spot. Be like, you know what? We're going to go into the greatest dynasty stretch the NFL has ever seen. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be the greatest quarterback anybody has ever seen. I will say, going back to the beginning, and not that you remember these conversations, but I do remember the people close to Patrick Mahomes when he was first drafted saying everyone's going to get enamored with the highlights, but the way in which he and Andy Reid see the game and that beautiful mind connection between them is what got everyone in that building excited. And I know you knew it too, that it wasn't the physical abilities were amazing, but it was the way he was picking up how they were teaching and how quickly and just organically everything was happening. When Kafka was there, they were teaching him how to do pass pro and how to get the line protected. Those are the stories I think back to, is that it wasn't the physical stuff. It was the mental side of the game, which now is what's carrying him so much further. And the physical side is just making it look easy.
Yeah, I remember those early years and spending so much time in Kansas City. And to me, I will always look back at one major aspect of this. And it is the brilliant job that this staff did with Patrick. And I also will give Patrick his credit, because it also takes a lot from the player specifically to work. And the reason I'm bringing this up, and the exact point to it, is this. It is a very delicate balance when you bring in a quarterback that has the off schedule and athletic ability that Patrick has, to not lean too heavy into it, because it can make you such a dynamic player when you don't know everything. Go talk to pretty much every quarterback when their career starts, and it's like, I don't see it like I see it now, right? I don't see it. I don't even know what I'm looking for, a lot of them say. But I have this ability to create and extend plays and use my legs and do all these off schedule things that can help me while I'm learning. But what oftentimes happens, BJ, is quarterbacks rely too heavily on that. They find some success. Patrick won the MVP in his first year. They find success and they keep doing it because this is how I found my success. Yeah. To me, what they were able to do is allow Patrick to do that. And while he's playing that way, still focus on footwork and fundamentals and playing on time and playing in the pocket and reading defenses, and Patrick being able to work on all of those things. If you ever go back and listen to like any of his press conferences, first 2-3 years, I don't know why I remember this so well, but it was always like free moment footwork, free moment working on fundamentals, on throwing motion, on all of these things. So his ability and the coaching staff's ability to allow him to play that way, but also teach him while he was playing that way, I think was just such a brilliant job to find that balance, and Andy to find that balance, to not take away his superpower. Like, you don't take it away. This is what's happening in Chicago right now, right? Like Caleb has some of these unbelievable God-given traits. There's many evaluators told me rolling to his left and throwing the football, they've never seen anything like it. Like the way Caleb can roll to his left, which is so hard for all right-handed quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And how Ben Johnson, I'm told, is learning this. Like, you don't have to learn my system, Caleb. You do, but man, I got to learn you. Like,
I got to acclimate.
I got to acclimate to what you bring. You're not Jared Goff. Like, what do you bring? And Andy did a brilliant job of that at the beginning of Patrick's career. And Patrick deserves obviously a ton of credit for the work he put in to continue this growth and not just rely on those skills that are still otherworldly.
It's the bits and pieces of things I remember. I remember walking by, and I told this before, like at training camp that first year, and walking by, and it was just Alex Smith. And I said they should build a statue for Alex Smith for not just what he did on the field, but what he did for Mahomes, and how it wasn't a question. Everybody always asked them about the relationship between him and Mahomes and how much you were helping, because you hear stories of Brett Favre and how it was Steve Young back in the day and Joe Montana and all the stuff going on, and that wasn't how Alex saw it at all. He didn't see it as like it's a conscious decision of whether or not I should help him. It's just like that's what you do to bring him along. And I think a lot of Alex's early years of like, I know what would be nice for me when I.
Oh yeah, he was trying to create a situation that was the opposite of what he went through.
Yeah,
do you remember they used to tell him don't run? In his first couple of years, do not run. He's like, but I. Pretty good runner with the football.
I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good.
No, we don't want you to run at all. Like, he wanted everything to be the opposite of what he went through at the beginning of his career.
I remember walking by a training camp when they were in the cafeteria, and I think I walked by one of the stations and I could hear him talking, and all I heard Alex say was, that's why there's so much you can do out of bunch when you're on the goal line. And I just remember thinking, like, at the time, it's just like nerds, like they can't help it. They're getting in line to, like, get their rice and chicken or whatever they were waiting on, and they were talking, and then later got food, walked by him again, and they were talking football. And that was 2 weeks into camp, Mahomes' first year, where you're just kind of following Alex around and answering all those questions. And that's a downtime in between a training camp, early practice, and then your afternoon walkthrough for everything you're about to do tomorrow. I mean, that's when everybody's heads are spinning, and he couldn't soak it up enough. And those are the things that I remember him being excited after OTA practices. He'd make an errant throw, but he was like celebrating on the sideline with the coaches. And I asked him after one of those OTA practices, I saw it, and I'm like, what were you celebrating? Help me understand this. And he's like, I set the protection correctly, and they were throwing some bullshit at me that they didn't think I could handle. And he got it figured out. He went on the sideline. He's like, you thought he could care less where the throw went. He's like, this was about me being able to understand the why of what we're doing. And it was just those stories were the beautiful way in which they developed him. But anyway, more on that later. We can talk about that.
I got a couple of them. So I was thinking of one too that Henny told me a couple of years ago. So yeah, we can use those.
Now you can't just tease that. Now you got to share that story.
All right. Chad's the best, man. I used to love talking ball with him because he took so much pride in Patrick's growth. And he took so much pride in what they did in that quarterback room and how he came along. And he told me he would sit there and he'd be next to Patrick in the room and he'd be watching with him. And obviously, and this is like the gift and the curse, he could see it so quick, right? He could see it when they're going over film about what defenses are doing, what they're doing. And he had seen so much ball. He can't do on a field what Patrick can do. Nobody can, but he can see it. And he's like, it's been so fun for me during our time together to sit there and watch his brain work and then be like, he's got it. Okay. Now he saw it. And then as our time went on together, it was like, he's seeing it the same speed I'm seeing it. I'm about to and he already knows it. And it's like the manner in which our meetings went faster as time went on, as Patrick started with more time, seeing it faster. It was no longer me waiting, when's he going to see it? When's he going to see it? He started seeing it immediately. And that meant so much to Chad about what they did in the room to help Patrick, and that Patrick had put in so much work that it was kind of like a tutor, you're tutoring a kid and he's getting better and better at the subject as the semester goes on. It was Chad's time with him to watch Patrick just figure out defenses quicker. And then he said it meant a lot to him. It was really kind of cool to kind of see that process and him tell me about that.
Did you watch Quarterback? The Netflix documentary, you watched it?
Yeah.
The episodes, there was one episode in particular where it was going with Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota learning the language of their offense and how to spit out the play call. Yeah. So it goes from those two stories, then it goes to Mahomes. who's like playing 4D chess with Andy Reid of like, here's what they're going to do against this defense. So here's how we're going to combat it. Here's how we're going to hide it. And here's how we're going to make it look like this. Like they're learning how to talk. And our guy's over here learning like his 7th language.
Continuity, man.
How to play.
It's the greatest.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, James, I need your help.
Okay.
Chiefs shut down the NFL's highest scoring offense in the NFL last night in the Detroit Lions. I think they're averaging like 35 points per game coming into this. And I need you to pull the IV of Kool-Aid out of me, because that's not what made me most excited. What made me most excited is that in his last 4 games, Patrick Mahomes has 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he did that last night without his left tackle or his number 1 wide receiver again. And Rashee Rice is coming back. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but explain to me how I'm supposed to be anything other than through the roof right now about where the Chiefs are at offensively and what they could look like when Rashee Rice steps back out on the field.
Yeah, you should be optimistic. Like, and everybody else around the league should be terrified. Like, what I was told was, and I think we talked about this a little bit before, there was just distinct plans put in place. It was, man, did we have a great camp? We're going to be more explosive as an offense. Hollywood Brown, the chemistry continues to build. We just got robbed of it last year. We saw, because of that, Xavier Worthy take this massive step and grow much quicker. He was thrown into the fire, but in the end, it actually benefited him. He had to do so much more than we were expecting him to play in the role last year. Let's kind of design some more for him. We know the chemistry that Rashee Rice and Patrick have. We know the suspension's coming. We're going to focus this thing around Worthy in these first 6 games, and we're going to make sure that he's the focal point of this offense. Well, that gets blown up right out of the gate, and you can't do essentially what you spent the back end of training camp and in the preseason preparing for. Like, literally, you couldn't run the offense that you wanted to run. And what have they done in the 3 games since Worthy's been healthy? What is it? 37, 30, and 28 points, I think they put up on the board. And so then they started operating in a manner in which you had to cover more. And I know this is cliche. Teams have to cover every blade of grass. The way they use Worthy to stretch you horizontally creates so much space for the offense to operate. And that's what they were missing when he was out. They were already planned to be without Rashee. So when he comes back, this is step 1. This is kind of my point of putting this in order. When Worthy comes back, then it's like, it's not just the screen game, but also the speed of play in which he plays and the speed of this offense maybe makes everybody kind of take a beat. Oftentimes speed slows down a defense. So everybody's going, well, I got to make sure he doesn't beat me deep. Like, I got to take a beat and see what happens. And then that slows down a defense. Patrick can see everything. Bam, they start working really, really well. What stood out to me the most, though, is the offensive line has come together. And I think, to me, if you give Patrick Mahomes time, he's fine. Like, it honestly, it might not even matter who's out there. Like, he'll be okay. And so once I saw last night them operating under center, running the ball under center, and the offensive line playing better, and you're right, they didn't even have Josh, and that allows you now to run more play action, run the boot game even more. They've done such a good job of, once Worthy came back, of moving Patrick out of the pocket, having him outside in different spots, and having different areas of the field he's throwing the football from. Now the offense is like expanding even further. And then when Rashee comes back, I feel like I'm going on and on, but I'll finish with this. Those shallow crosses that he runs, now what do you have with the offensive line to be able to run those? You have time. And a lot of those are patience. It's how he throttles across the field. He's brilliant at them. Like, he's really, really good at them. And it's a hard skill to run that shallow cross area and the traffic you got to maneuver. But now that Patrick has the time, some of those take a minute, and he'll look certain ways, guys off, knowing where she's coming back this way or vice versa. And the intricacies of the play designs now are going to be just outstanding, in my opinion, because you now have the ability to run this multi-layered offense.
And when you're doing those like 3x1s and Rashee's the inside guy running the shallow crosser, and then Xavier's to the outside running across, when they run those over routes, you have the two of the fastest guys in the NFL running those routes, and Mahomes could dot it in any one of those individual windows. You can't just have one guy or 2 guys that have speed. You're running your 2 fastest guys at 2 different levels completely across their defense. And if you don't have the speed at one of those windows, that's where the ball is going to get delivered. And I think my favorite part of the post-game stuff last night was Mahomes was asked about like how excited he that Rashee was coming back. and you could see his entire body just try to hold it in and say, we're excited. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah.
And then his entire body's like, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm thinking and what's going on there. I mean, the binds that they put you in and the formations you're talking about, the bind that defenders are in, it's really, really difficult. I was talking to somebody this morning. I was like, what do you need? And they were like, you need 2 really, really fast corners and 2 really, really good safeties. I'm like, well, who's got that in today's NFL right now with all the injuries in the secondaries that are going on?
Wasn't the Detroit Lions.
Wasn't the Lions, but they're playing the like 5th and 6th string, corners out there. But like, you got to be set up personnel wise to be able to handle this. And then, surprise, surprise, like Travis is still on the field. I will say this. I'm a little bit different than everybody said he had like a monster game last night or whatever. I didn't think he looked great last night, honestly. Travis, I'm curious what your opinion is. He just doesn't look like himself. I know he had yards. I know he had catches. A lot of it wasn't smooth, like bobbling and stuff like that. But he
bobbled a couple. The one catch on 3rd down where he kind of went up and caught it. That ball was in the air and he kind of snagged it. It was a little bit overthrown. It was a great play, but I think Kelce is what he is at this point. There's not.
That's my point.
Yak.
I guess
there's not going to be a lot of yak. No. All 6 of his catches were for first downs, and he averaged 13 yards a catch.
Yeah, and but when he got upended at the goal line, I'm like, the Travis Kelce I know is plowing his way into the end zone there, and he's finding a way in. He just doesn't. The reason I brought it up is I was having this moment today where I was like, it kind of stinks when like your favorite players and the all-time greats nobody's
getting old.
Nobody's going to stop time. Yeah, they start getting old. Like nobody's going to stop time. It kind of stinks, right? Like you just love watching them play. Like, you know what I mean? You love watching them play, and you're just like, this isn't what he used to. This is Jordan with the Wizards. Like I don't want to.
He's still a few years younger than me, but maybe it's because I empathize with that. Because yesterday had all kinds of sports events and like had 3 games for kids. Had soccer in the morning, and then flag football, and then volleyball.
Look at you go.
And James, when I was getting off the bleachers after the volleyball game, I was so sore.
You're not bringing a pad? Are you bringing a pad yet?
I've done nothing.
Are you the dad bringing a pad to the bleachers? Like a little butt pad?
No, my wife does that. No, I'm the dad. I can't sit. And it drives my wife crazy because when she coaches like volleyball, I coach baseball and flag football. And so generally we're coaching, but the few times that neither one of us are coaching, I'm not a dad. I can't sit in the bleachers.
Oh,
like I'm the guy pacing or walking back and forth because I mumble things and people shouldn't hear them. Mm-hmm. And that was
all the dads I played baseball with. They were always like, this was the number 1 move. Do you know what this move is right here? That is, I'm sneaking a cigarette on school grounds. And all of them, all the dads like,
yeah. Like my dad would go out to left field
in this little camp
burn heaters the entire time. I could always find my dad because he was always hiding in the outfield. So he'd always wander around, just smoking by himself, pacing around. All right. I want to talk to you about, speaking of baseball, and you'll like the reference, the Bush League stuff. I don't know what else to call what Brian Branch did after the game. Mm-hmm. Is there any more clarity you can provide as to maybe what was going on? Because I don't think if somebody gets blocked in the back and it's not called, that they get so angry that they punch someone or slap someone in the face after the game. But what was your reaction when you saw what happened?
It was a bummer because I was so jacked for the game. And obviously these are 2 of the best teams in football. And you just don't like those things post game. I'll tell you who didn't like it more than me, Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell will not tolerate those type of things. Trust me, it will be handled within the organization pretty well by their head coach. I thought he was really good post game actually talking about it. I think Brian is a big, like the player himself is a big part of what ended up happening. I mean, this isn't new for Brian Branch.
I don't know don't know a whole lot about him.
Great player, really good player, versatile piece in a secondary that can do a lot of different things for you as a defender. But this is like, this comes with Brian a little bit. So that's probably part of it.
He's had an interesting career in Kansas City because he had the pick 6 off the deflection a few years ago. And then he was actually drafted in Kansas City. He was the one who was the guy that was here who stayed for day 2 because he thought he was going to go in round 1. He was the one in the green room on his own. That was in Kansas City.
Yeah, I do. I until you said it, I didn't remember it, but now I do.
Learning all kinds.
Yeah, he has had an interesting time in Kansas City.
Maybe I would say that was all built up. Maybe it's all built up.
Yeah, is it the block in the back alone? No. Does that lead to like further chirping from play after play after play after that play happens? Certainly. And does it escalate? Definitely. But yeah, it was a little bit of a more. What I would also like to put out there is hey, Patrick, run the other direction from the fight. I don't want my quarterback.
I don't care. I love it.
I don't
care.
Yeah, you love it until like somebody like rolls up on his ankle in the middle of a post game like skirmish and like he's hobbling for the next couple of weeks. I'm just saying, quarterbacks, put yourselves in bubble wrap.
I always think of it from a teammate standpoint. I always think of it from a teammate standpoint when this stuff and like that's why they love that dude.
I love the leadership. I love the way he is. I love the way he plays the game. Like he's super tough on a field. He takes hits. He lowers his shoulder. I don't think people know. And like I've talked to a lot of defenders that have like pass rushers specifically. They're like, dude, I don't think people know. Like they joke around about like the dad bod and stuff. Like it's like it is hitting a thick dude when we try to sack Patrick Mahomes. Like he is about as strong as they come in the pocket in terms of strength from a quarterback. Just strength. Like he
Taco Bell and
so strong. Yeah. But I don't know. I just in things that are not like he said after the game, we play between the whistles when he was asked in the post-game interview. I want him to be tough between the whistles. Like I just don't want my quarterback in the middle of that. I think it's awesome now that he came out of it okay. But if something goes terribly wrong, there's usually why they tell the quarterbacks to get away.
Yeah, there's like the giant butt, like you can't do that, but I can't hide the fact that I fucking love that we've got that.
Oh, we can celebrate. You can celebrate the Chiefs dog right now. You're like, look at him in the middle there. Look at him in the middle there.
But even when he does it, gets hurt, you're just like, yeah, that comes with it. But like, you're not taking the dog out of him.
No, he's still gonna stick up for his teammates. I appreciate that. I'm down with that. Like he's good at being. I've always said this, and I know this is becoming like a Patrick Mahomes conversation we're having, but like I always thought the reason he, to me, there's many of them. We can have a long conversation. That he's the closest one to Brady is Brady had a superpower of being just like one of the guys. And when the locker room is and it's just the guys around, he found a way, even though he's in Uggs in a magazine, which were terrible ads, and he's dating Giselle and he's married to Giselle, like he still found a way to be one of the guys. Patrick can do that. He's one of the dudes. And it's a great skill to have because it's hard when you become an ultra famous quarterback.
For sure. And that's how I talk to people now. It's always just like, hey, is everybody still like cool? Like it's everything still kind of, I was there before it really took off at the very beginning of it. And it's like, things are different. Everything's a lot bigger. There's just a lot more attention on everything. But to their credit, like they're still the same people, which is why his teammates love him the way they do. Speaking of one of his teammates, and I don't know if you have any other information, the Josh Simmons situation, missing the game last night. Not a lot of information out there, got to be serious and it's got to be personal. That there's this many people for as long as it's been in this high profile national game. For it really not to be out there tells you that there's people around him that care about him and that seems like there's something that's pretty serious that's going on.
Yeah. Again, a lot of people not sharing a lot of information with it, which in the manner in which we're saying, like personal reason, like that's fine. Honestly, it's a lot of people are taking the approach. It's not my place to share anything, which is totally away from football, the respectful thing to do when it's somebody else's business. I will say this, that I was told like the day before, nobody had a clue that this was going to happen. Like there were people in the building that were like, on Saturday, there was never any discussion or talk from like this came up pretty late as something. So it wasn't like everybody in the building knew, to my understanding. And everybody was like preparing for it. That wasn't really the situation. So take that for kind of what it is. But I think they handled it really, really well. Like I do think to circle it back to sports these are the type of things that callous you as a team when you have to go through kind of some mini adversity type of stuff like this. Like look at the Colts game. You got Anthony Richardson blasting himself in the face with, I think it wasn't just the band, I was told. It was like an actual piece of the apparatus that he was using the band on that came and drilled him in the face and fractured his orbital bone. That's in the locker room, like in a place where you're stretching to get loose. And then you have your cornerback and Ward run into your massive tight end with no pads on and knock himself out cold pregame. Like my point is the Colts, in my understanding, had to really regroup in the locker room. Like, holy crap. And some guys saw what happened to Anthony Richardson were like, wow, like to regroup and then win a football game. Same thing with the Chiefs. Like, hey, we're going to lose our left tackle who's playing really well, like with kind of no notice. Impressive.
Yeah. And for Jalen Moore, not spend enough time talking about how he performed, But the Chiefs gave him $30 million. Talking on the broadcast a lot. They gave him $30 million over 2 years, not knowing that Josh Simmons was going to be an option down the road. And instead, they got insurance and a young and up and comer. So when something like this happens, not only did it not take a step back, Jalen, like this offense looked fine.
It did. Definitely looked fine. Is he the highest? He's got to be the highest paid backup lineman in football.
For sure. Yeah. There's an aggressive correction.
Yes. Well, usually Brett Veach, if there's an issue, he throws like multiple resources at it. Like that's usually his play.
It's an aggressive correction. And speaking of aggressive, let's talk a little bit about Steve Spagnuolo and what the Chiefs defense. There's a lot made about the Chiefs offense, how they performed. And then there's but the Detroit Lions are all banged up. Okay, let's go to the other side of the ball.
Yep.
35 points per game is what we'd seen from the Detroit Lions, 17 in this game against the Chiefs. That at different points, the Lions were moving the ball and getting things done. But again, late in the game when they needed stops, enough of those Drew Tranquils, Nick Boltons stepped up and made enough plays late to get it done once again.
Yeah, I'll use an example with this. I do know Dan told people that he thought he'd have to score 30 to win this game. So he kind of knew where things stood. I knew you could tell also coming out of the coin toss, them taking the football was a direct result of part of our game plan is to try to keep that offense off the field. They went like 9 minutes, 9:36 or 9:39 on the opening drive. And I was like, oh, this is kind of their game plan. Like, we're going to try to run the ball because the Chiefs were giving up like 123.4 yards a game on the ground, I think, in this game.
Yeah.
And talking to people this week, it was, in Detroit, it was like, well, we're going to run the ball. We got two great backs, and hopefully we can just consistently run the football against a team that's right now struggling, and we can keep Patrick off the field, and hopefully this secondary that we don't have any players doesn't have to play a ton of snaps. And it kind of worked for the opening drive. And then the second drive went well. And then after that, I was looking at it like it's turnover on downs, punt, touchdown, punt, turnover on downs. Like, and 151 yards after those first two drives, 81 in that touchdown drive. And then the rest, you do the math because I'm terrible at it. And so I saw a team that made, and I think this is really the marquee of a veteran team and a good coaching staff. What went wrong against Jacksonville, right? Like, 13 penalties, 109 penalty yards. How many penalties they have? 0. Well, bad complimentary football. Accepted. What's up? Yeah. Bad complimentary football.
Chris Jones jumped off sides, but they didn't accept it. I know this because Nick Jacobs from 41 News tweeted out, no penalties. And then I retweeted it and I had like 17 comments of people being like, not accepted. I'm like, all right, for everybody that wants to be very literal.
After 13, you can split hairs all you want, but to drop that low in the next week, I think is fine. And then like, I saw this team tackles well when they're disciplined, and they tackled in space well. And I thought that was a big part of this. I also thought, like to sniff out some of the screen game that Detroit was doing, I thought was really impressive. So yeah. I thought they played well, and they always get better as the year goes on. So I'm not surprised by them playing well, honestly. I'm really not. And actually in your guys that get paid on that side of the ball, like the guys you paid made plays. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's a big part of what happens in this league is the guys who get paid the most on your team need to make plays. Trent McDuffie, who's on his way, but didn't get paid yet. Like Nick Bolton, those type of guys made plays.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up the numbers right now to see.
I was wondering what you were doing.
I'm just looking over here on the little screen because I wanted to talk about Chris Jones real quick before we go to break here. Yeah. Chris Jones finished with 4 pressures. He had some juice. He had a 91.3, his highest grade so far in pass rush. That it seemed like he was playing with a chip on his shoulder, and because of how last game ended and because of the screenshot and the taking the play off that everybody talked about, wasn't surprised to see him come out and play well. And this defense, the defensive line, we're going to talk about it on the other side because there's some other conversations to have about it. Mm-hmm. But when Chris is playing motivated and wants to pull his hair back and get it done, he showed against the Lions that when he really wants to and goes, he can still get it done. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about a running back that I think the Chiefs could trade for that hasn't been thrown out there before, and I want to throw it out to you you can crush my dreams. We'll be right back after this.
Calling all Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pre-game coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
Chiefs Kingdom, I have got a question for you. What is your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, I can confidently say that my favorite touchdown, it's the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From the first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. From spreads to money lines, same-game parlays, regular parlays, you want it, DraftKings has got it. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I use DraftKings Sportsbook, and you should too. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Welcome back to 10 Things here on KC Sports Network. I'm BJ Kissel, hanging out with James Palmer. James, I teased it going into the break, and we'll just get right into it because there is one particular running back, especially with the news that broke earlier today, that may be on the trading block, and it would be Brett Veach calling an old friend about a veteran running back. We have heard Breece Hall. We have heard Alvin Kamara. We have heard ETN. We have not heard the name Tony Pollard before. And when I'm just trying to blindly throw darts at older running backs that have a year of control left, that are on bad teams, that have Tajay Spears coming back from injury, so they've got a dude, maybe there's a fit. Don't crush my dreams, but if they're going to trade for running back, do you see Tony Pollard maybe being a guy that could be available?
Well, the other guys you mentioned, I don't know if they get moved, honestly.
Okay. Braylon Allen getting hurt did not help the New York Jets opportunities. ETN, the Jags are doing great.
Yeah, I mean,
Kamara's the one.
He's like a focal point of their offense. Like, we'll see. I think Kamara doesn't want to go anywhere, but obviously there's some time for that to see. But we'll see what happens.
That's why I ask you, because you know these things, and you can just be like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
We'll try. It doesn't mean nothing will happen. I just right now it doesn't seem like it. This is what I'd say about what, and you mentioned an old friend, and I'm assuming you're mentioning Mike Borgonzi and the man running the show there in Nashville. What's going on, and now that they've made a change at head coach, is this group that he brought in. Dave Ziegler's part of that group, the old general manager of the Vegas Raiders, and they've come in and started to evaluate everything that's a part of that roster. And what they've noticed very quickly, to my understanding, is there's definitely players on that roster that they would have never drafted. Like they wouldn't have picked them for one reason or another. Some scheme fit, some absolute just the fit. Some like I don't want that guy to be a core player of my roster, like character wise. Like, so they've been sitting there for these 6 weeks now, really evaluating everything in that building, and have no fear of flipping it completely. Like, so that gives you Saudi some encouragement maybe for this little hypothesis.
What they realize is that they need more 4th round picks.
Yeah,
that's what they realized. They need
fourth round picks.
4th and 5th round picks is what they need.
They need some late round picks to help flip this thing. Some character guys, BJ's saying, to kind of keep this, to get this Tennessee Titans roster back where they want it to be. They understand
throw Pacheco in with that deal. I'd throw Pacheco into that deal.
Would you?
Yeah,
throw him right in there. Okay,
that's easy for me because I don't know any of these.
I thought Isaiah ran pretty hard last night, but
I know I'm partially serious, but not as serious as the people that think I actually want to trade him or that's a legitimate option.
Oh, okay.
I just think that we need a running back with some juice.
Yeah, I get it. Juice. Yeah, Chuba Hubbard might be available.
Take Chuba Hubbard. I think Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle's out there just snaked his job.
Give us the other one.
Job.
Take either one of them at this point. And it's the most uncomfortable thing, James. You and I have talked about this. Isaiah Pacheco is a fan favorite. Love him. He was into this. He was the one scrapping it afterwards with Mahomes, with the Brian Branch deal. He is that dude. You want that guy on your team. Oh, yeah. If I was on the team, I'd love that he was on that team. Same thing with Kareem Hunt. Him coming back and the way that you see him after the game, he's out hanging out with Mahomes, and like they had that relationship. They kept that relationship. They're great stories and lovable teammates, but they're not very fast. We need some guys that can run at that position, and it makes it uncomfortable to talk about.
Yeah, running. Really, I think that's actually a hard spot for some teams to figure out right now.
Not for the Lions.
I would say, Lions got two pretty. Eagles can't figure out how to run their 2,000-yard rusher.
The Panthers are terrible. You've got two pretty good running backs.
They're rolling, baby. Let's go. So I would that's my point. They are value. I don't know specifically where they feel about Tony Pollard with that, but I just wanted to give you the 10,000-foot view of what's happening in Nashville right now, and they are ready and willing to make moves. Certainly, I do know that.
Yeah, I feel like Brett. This is not the first time that any running backs that there were rumors that they were looking around before, and so I'm just connecting dots of like who's out there. Tony Pollard, and he's 28 years old. I think he's due like $9.1 million next year, so you'd have him under control for another year. So him and Brashard Smith for a year financially could figure it out. Just saying, James. Okay, I can connect dots and make it make sense.
Good dots. Good dots.
Because, the offense, could he plug in the middle of the season and all like the real things? Don't worry about that, right? It's just like Madden. He's plug him in and he's fast and he'll make the play.
It'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. It'll work just as well as Jerick McKinnon when they just scooped him up.
It'll be great. You just hope is not a strategy. But let's talk about the Chiefs defensive line, hoping that they can get some more juice out of anyone not named Chris Jones. It's been obvious. It's been a knock for the Chiefs. To be fair, it's been a knock for the Chiefs in the past. And it's like, well, the Chiefs can only get pressure when Spags blitzes. And then he's like, all right, they'll just blitz all the time and we'll still have some success. James, am I making too much of it? Or is this an area that guys like Omar, Norman Lott, Ashton Gelati, the young guys over the next 6 weeks have to develop to be the answer for the Chiefs defense up front?
Certainly. I don't, you're talking to somebody that like, you could see how interested I was with like, we need to get another running back and how my tone changes when like we need to play better in the middle of our defense.
I think it was when I brought up trading Pacheco. I think you were like, this is not serious.
This guy's no, but my point is in terms of position importance, here's a perfect example. Like let's look at Seattle right now. Right. Mm-hmm. And what has changed about Seattle? Sam Darnold's playing really well and they got him instead of Geno, but and JSN's leading the league in receiving, but it's the offensive line has come together. They put some resources there. And then their middle three on their defensive line might be the best in football in terms of the three guys on the inside. And so their philosophy there with John Schneider has always been based off of the trenches and based off of you just can't compete if you can't stop anybody on the ground. And now with this, this running resurgence a little bit lately within the league. Like, I do think you have to be able to stop people, and you do have to have a lot of teeth to your defense in the middle of it. What is the biggest problem? Well, I don't know how much time we have in the show with the Ravens. Is like they came into this season, and if you ask anybody in the building now, going like, okay, you guys thought you had a great roster on paper, and on paper they probably did have one of the best rosters in football, and obviously the injuries are huge. The one thing that I was told is they were like, we overlooked like losing a lot of beef in the middle of our defense, like, and specifically in the middle of our defensive line. And I'm bringing up these examples because, like, it's look at one team that lost it and where they've gone, and one team that gained it and where they're headed. And so I think this is really, really important. And the Chiefs are good at developing players. They really are. And this defense is good at developing a cohesiveness and a growth as the season goes on. I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know, but I think it's almost paramount that it has to happen for postseason success, certainly. Because what happens in the postseason, you know this, BJ, the Chiefs run it every year. Like, your flaws get ultra exposed in the postseason because the coaching is just usually on another level and the prodding is on another level. Hell, it's what Spags does best, honestly, is to find your weakness. And so, I think it is something that needs to get better.
I saw a tweet, and I'm probably going to butcher this, and I can't even cite where I got it, but it was about Derek Nottie. And it said last year he didn't play any higher than 28% of the snaps and wasn't particularly great. And this year has been worse and has played over 35% of the snaps in every game. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why is he here? It's like, well, he's here. Obviously, they needed that role very, very badly. Mike Pennell's not back. A couple years ago, let Colin Saunders go back. I'll keep bringing that up because that was my guy. They could have just Colin, kept him around. Still have basketball team in the locker room. Still would have been solid. Yeah. But
Tony was my guy.
That being said, I do believe, and I think the development of younger players and even like players that have been around for 3 or 4 years getting better is the most overlooked aspect of roster building when it comes to fans and analysis. We forget that existing players can get better, and that it's not step in and play and then you're either a finished product or you're not.
It is. That's such a great point. That's such a great point because, like, first off, the league has no patience and fans have no patience, and players can definitely get better. I think the perfect example of that is in the AFC West. Who did nobody know who the hell he was when he was drafted a few years ago? And then in the first portion of his career, nobody knew anything about him. And then last year, he explodes because he finally matures and becomes a better player. And now he's tied with Aiden Hutchinson for the best odds for Defensive Player of the Year in Nick Bonito for the Denver Broncos, a 64th pick overall. How often do pass rushers, edge rushers specifically, taken outside of the top half of the first round, ever really become something? It's not very common. The guy was just immature and developed and developed and developed. And he has got 8 sacks already in 6 games. And he's become like a play. He is a huge poster child for developing. Like, he was a rotational player for his first 2 years in Denver. 3 years in Denver, maybe. And you're right. These guys can get better, but I do think depth in there too is huge on that defensive line. And KC needs to find some of that too. Yeah.
Omar Norman Lott, Ashton Gelati, the young guys, they're going to get better. They're going to get more experience. They're going to see different things. And to your point, Spags, he'll know what to do with them. It was always never judge a Spags defense before Halloween or Thanksgiving is one of the two. And then 2 years ago last year on fire from the beginning and kind of
position coaches
into the wind.
You're right. Like, they have good position coaches on defense. That's overlooked a lot in the league.
Yeah. Well, coach, I mean, you've talked about, he sees himself more as a teacher of coaches and a teacher of the game than he is a play caller. Mm-hmm. His job is to teach the coaches how to teach his system and learn the details. And so coaches love working for him. All right. 2 more questions for you, and then anything that you've got to wrap up this show. And one, I've never heard anyone talk about this, and I like asking you this question because you've been around him. And I was thinking about it during the game. It's about Chris Jones. Mm-hmm. And this has been going on for a while because I was around him early in his career. He was kind of goofy and he was like a 5-year-old in a man-child's body is the way that I would describe Chris. Yeah. When you would ask questions like, can I wear pajamas under my, pads because it's going to be cold at the game on Sunday? Conversations you used to have with Chris. Is he having fun? They showed him at the end of the game and he was smiling and he was on the sideline. every time they show him on the field or just standing out there, he's not smiling. He doesn't even look tired. He just kind of going through the motions. Has his personality changed? Is he enjoying the game? And the last couple of weeks, he's had shit going on. I get that. But even going back further, you don't see that kind of joyous, goofy side of him as much as we did years ago.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get that question. I mean, I don't know. No
one's talked about it. I just kind of noticed it recently, and it's like you don't see that side of him as much anymore.
Yeah, that fun loving, one of my favorite people to chase down on the field.
You never knew what he was going to say. It was awesome.
It was wild.
Like, where were you taking that ball? He's like, I'm taking the ball to Overland Park.
Yeah, then NFL Network would have to air like a third of what we talked about usually when we were on the field. But, I don't know. I mean, players change. I mean, guys change as they get older. I know that. I mean, I haven't heard anything like he's disgruntled or anything with his.
It's not where I'm going. It's nothing like that. I just wonder if he still has the same joy for the game. Or it just comes out in different ways.
I would assume so. I would assume that the last week to this week is a pretty good example of where his mind is in terms of the drive he has. I don't think
probably not the time to bring up that storyline because I've been thinking about this for a while. And now there's last couple of weeks, like there's obviously reasons why it could be.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I feel awful for him. I mean, I know that we talked about. I think last time I was on, like the situation he went through on game day. Like that's just not a normal thing that happens. And I appreciate the Chiefs doing what they could to make sure he could accomplish everything he wanted to on game day. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll say this, if I were him, I'm like, I want some more help. Like I'd love some more help.
Tired.
Yeah.
He's tired. We ran into him. Like I've told this, I think I shared the story. I put the post out last year. My son and I go to a different road game every year. It's going to Denver. So I'd reached out to a buddy. He said, Bojo's pizza place.
Bojo's Pizza?
Bojo's Pizza. That's where I was told to go. If you got a better pizza place, tell me.
After this. My buddy owns Sexy Pizza. Go to Sexy Pizza.
All right, we'll go to Sexy Pizza with my 10-year-old.
It's a family restaurant. It's
I don't know.
Nightclub.
Just asking. But anyway, we went to Buffalo last year. Mm-hmm. And everybody beforehand was talking about Bar Bill being like the play. I'd been to Anchor Bar before, and it's like that's the tourist trap. You want to go to Bar Bill, get the best wings. And Chris talked about it to the media. I was like, well, if Chris is talking about it, and this is where he says to go, like, let's go get wings. So my son and I get there at 3:30 in the afternoon local time, thinking, hey, we'll get in here pretty quick. 2.5 hour long wait. At Bar Bill at 3:30 on a Saturday. We had come straight from Niagara Falls, and we're sitting there for about an hour just playing on my phone, and black SUV pulls up. Chris Jones gets out, and I see him from about 15 feet away. He's by himself. He just kind of sees me. He's like, hey, BJ. Long story short, he goes in. He's by himself, pops back out. He's like, hey, do you want to come sit and eat with me? So it's just my son and I, and Nate Taylor was actually with us. And we were like, yeah, that would be awesome. So we went and sat, and the first thing he just turned around, he's like, but no media talk, like no football talk. No talk about any, like nothing. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm with my son. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
Had a great time. It was super nice. So my question wasn't thinking like anything super bad. I used to see more of the joyous side when they'd show him on the field talking trash or doing whatever. And now maybe he's just matured in that way and doesn't talk.
You never know. Like, I mean, he gets the elbow thing last night. Like, you don't know what guys are battling through. Sometimes they try not to disclose some of them because of competitive advantage. So he might have something nagging that's bothering him. Like, yeah, I mean, there could be a million different.
Dude, it's interesting when they show the broadcast and there's an equipment guy working and they think it's a medical guy and they're like, oh, he's getting treatment. I'm like, that's not treatment. They're fixing a piece of equipment on his. Yeah. Like that's not what's happening. All right. Last question. We talked about this before. How worried, and he made the rest of his kicks. Harrison Butker, where should Chiefs, on a scale from 1 to 10, how confident should Chiefs fans be right now? At one point 2 years ago, is best average field goal, most accurate kicker of all time. And now it feels like we're holding our breath every time he kicks the ball.
Yeah. I think there's a concern. I put something out on Twitter, I think after the loss to the Jags, and I got mauled because I was like, it's just, and I said it's out of character for him. Like it's what's happening this year, and he's become an issue. And some people got mad at me, like you can't miss the number of kicks he's missed and not say anything about it.
Yeah. Well, it was uncomfortable because everybody wants to make it a political. Let's be honest. Like people are making it a political.
And then people started arguing with each other.
People got really quick to be like, oh, he's friggin' terrible.
People like, I can't believe you've done this, James. And I'm like, can I not talk about him as a football?
Yeah, like at some point, it's like, yes, he's missing wide right, and there's a lot of like he's off little wide right. There's jokes there. Don't get me wrong; they're kind of funny in a way that it's all funny.
Yeah, but it was like this is an
issue. That's not why. That's not why he's missing kicks. Though. Like that's the part.
This is an issue.
There's nothing to do with it.
Like,
missing kicks is an issue.
Off the field aside, like Justin Tucker fell off a cliff last year, like in terms of his performance. Like off the field aside, just kicking football.
What else do you want to talk about?
This was not good. Like, I think what's happening is though the attention to it is not the kitchen stuff. It's these other guys are just making bombs around the league right now. And so you're like, we used to have this guy that would like make like 50-yarders consistently in clutch moments, like in big moments. That's what Harrison Butker was for these Chiefs. And now you're seeing guys just like knock these deep shots like left and right. And you're like, we're missing extra points over here. Like, and and
it's not the distance.
No,
like it's not even the issue at all. But
not. And so I do think it's a concern because it's not a concern if you're a team that is not expected to play very meaningful games.
Right.
And the Chiefs are expected to play very meaningful games in the deep months of this season. And so a missed extra point in the playoffs, massive, like absolutely massive. I don't know why I'm fascinated by this, but like the Chiefs games, for example, when that 6 is there instead of a 7, you're like, oh, I just feel like the fourth quarter is going to roll around. This is going to be different. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I do think it is something to definitely be concerned about. I mean, it's a large enough sample size now.
Right. And that's where it's beyond the people that were really quick to want to criticize and then the people that were defending just because on the opposite side and like everybody in the middle is just like, just make your damn kicks.
Yeah, I think.
And then okay, you're not the best kicker anymore. You're above average kicker and we're just used to automatic. And now it's like you're below average and you're the highest paid kicker. And I don't care about the rest of the crap. I just want to have a conversation about we have a really good team that now we have to worry about something that we finally didn't feel like we had to worry about anymore.
That's a great way to put it. And I think to me, it was when I wrote, like people got mad at me too when I said he's an issue. I was like, the main reason I said that is because like he used to be a weapon. Like he has a reputation of being an actual weapon for your team. And I don't think he is that right now. I mean, could he flip it? For sure. He's got a long enough career that you've seen him make a lot of big kicks. But I don't think anybody in the league, no matter what you think of Harrison Butker, would say he's a weapon for the Chiefs. Right. Yeah.
And he's not. And even if you don't like him for all those other reasons, like scaling that to, you mentioned Justin Tucker, not even close stratosphere. Like,
and
my son brought up Justin Tucker the other day. He was talking about kickers. He's like, so where's Justin Tucker? I'm like, nobody knows. I did the Nate Bargatze,
I think, right?
It's like, what's in a hot dog? Like, nobody knows. No one's ever going to see him again. My wife goes, why? I was like, conversation for another time.
Yeah, not going to see him. It is. The kicking game has been, I think it's been super fun. Like all of
there's something about the new balls. Yeah. It's like they're not being like, they get checked or something.
They get them for the week now. Yeah. So they're not like out of the box on game day like they used to be. So now you get to do whatever you get to do whatever
microwave and freeze them
during that. No, I mean guys are doing some crazy things, man, to their balls,
so they can prep those balls all week to make sure they're ready to go for Sunday.
Like guys are using like baby oil or like olive oil or certain things, like I think to soften the leather and these different things. They get them to be able to be more accustomed to their liking now for Sundays. There you go.
I'm a giant child. What sections do you have? I'm out of topics and we went completely out of order. For anyone who's watching, this was going to be a more organized show.
I don't even know what the order was supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't give it to you because I know we're not going to stay on it. And I just screwed 2 people up. But I figured it out. We got through everything.
We got through it all. Yeah.
What do you got? What do you want to talk about?
I'm fascinated by the way these kickers have. No, I'm just kidding. Is there what's the situation with Arrowhead? And I'm mentioning this because I think there's so few stadiums left that have that feel. As the league has changed, like Denver is now going to have some sort of attempt to rival SoFi, it seems like, due to just a family, I guess, a measuring stick at Thanksgiving for all of them together on who can have.
It's all relative to like who you want.
It happens in my family. Like, we're debating about who has the better multi-billion-dollar stadium, like when we're all get together at a family function with the Cronkies and the Waltons and whatnot. But with like so many of these stadiums kind of going away, Buffalo was going to lose that, right? And I used to love covering games there. Yeah. I feel like and the right on the water there in Cleveland it was such like an old school football feel. Yeah. I feel like it's like Lambeau, even though it's been renovated, it's just still football like heaven. And Arrowhead, are we going to lose that, BJ? Like,
I've been one to say from the beginning, I never thought they would leave. Mm-hmm. I never thought they would leave because Clark Hunt has been so forthcoming from the beginning about honoring his dad, and that Arrowhead was the crown jewel of his father's legacy. Mm-hmm. And that I never thought he would go. Now, if the state of Kansas is going to give him a free stadium, then they're obviously going to take it. Yeah. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And my nostalgia, it can be, I get it. If they're going to give him a free stadium, I think it would completely change things. I think over time, the generational fandom that Chiefs fans have felt for people like myself who grew up going to games with my dad, sat in section 338, row 10, seats 10 and 11. Like, I know exactly where we sit. Every time I go there, I look at it. I think a lot of that you lose. The noise you automatically lose because you can't build stadiums the way that Arrowhead is built anymore, where it's underground. A third of it's under the ground. So you're not going to get that feel. And so I don't want them to move. I want them to renovate the original Arrowhead. I've been told, as I've been pretty forthcoming, that even with people that know more about this than me, are like, there's no way they're leaving. They're just like, So, but that has changed recently with the whole Frank White, and I follow it, but not super closely. So I don't know legalities of everything. I know that there are, from what I saw, the latest report was that there are talks ongoing about keeping them where they are, and that it's not a set thing that they're going to go anywhere. I think the Royals need to be downtown where the Kansas City Star building used to be, or that area, not North Kansas City, and sure as hell not Overland Park where they're talking about it there. Baseball needs to be downtown. Arrowhead needs to be right where it's at.
Bingo. Football doesn't need to be downtown because there's not enough games. The daily occurrence of baseball downtown changes the environment and the feel of your city.
100%.
And I am completely with you. I was talking to Colton Pouncey about this the other day from The Athletic, who covers the Lions. And like, we were talking about how downtown Detroit is awesome with all of their stadiums right downtown. Like, it's really cool. I mean, the Lions and Tigers play right next door to each other across the street. Like, there's just a different feel with baseball downtown. I'm a big baseball downtown guy. 100%. I don't think football needs to, because it's too much of it's much more of it's 8 special days, or not special, but you know what I mean? Like, and you can live that outside of the city. Baseball is a different deal.
And you don't want to take away the tailgating for Royals games. Yes, people do it, but you're not taking away a cultural thing that you're known for. Whereas Arrowhead, you move it downtown, sure, people will go tailgate, but it's not even be close to the same. Like that, those are the things that only people that have been doing it for the last 30, 40 years understand, like how much you're taking away what is such a ingrained part of our game day rituals. Like,
let me ask you this though.
Can't do that.
Do you think you miss out on players?
By not being
facilities ranking high matter to players, specifically free. Obviously winning matters.
I'm not naive to think that it doesn't matter. That if the money's even in 2 places and there's better amenities and somebody gets to live in a city that's not Kansas City, let's be honest, not where a lot of young players who aren't married with kids would necessarily want to go and play compared to other cities that you could get to, and the taxes and all that kind of stuff. The facilities aren't comparable to other teams, and those reports come out and they talk about it. But now with Mahomes and Andy Reid, like, you're going to go compete for an AFC championship. You're going to go compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's different.
Those guys, it matters. Sorry, you got one less hot, BJ. Okay.
But I used to be the guy who's like, oh, take a discount. Players get every dollar you can.
Oh,
get every single dollar you can. If somebody pays you $600,000 more, you go there. Somebody gives you $1 million more, you go there.
Yeah.
Like, it's $1 million.
Yeah. Take the money. Take
the money and go, because the organization will not treat, like, they're going to do what's best for them. Like, everybody's just going to do what's best for them. At least you're.
That's why when you have good teams, it's special, man. Honestly, I will say that, because it is true. And so
navigating this to be good for an extended period of time with who to pay, who not to pay, and how to navigate that without just pissing people off is probably one of the more impressive feats that the Chiefs have gone through so far. And you play in that space more than I do. Yep. But it's a sensitive thing, and there's a lot of egos, and they've done it well.
He's good at it. I think his transparency and his honesty is one of the reasons why he's pretty good at it. He kind of shoots players pretty straight. And I think that's actually valued. It may hurt when you're initially told, hey, we can only go to this, man. Sorry. Like, that's all we can do. I know some players that stings, but then in the long run, doing business that way is much more valuable.
100%.
I think. And I think Brett's good at that.
Yep. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, appreciate everybody for hanging out. James, thank you for hanging out. Where can people find your podcast with old Steve Smith, Agent 89?
Oh, man. 89. I think it's 89 show. Steve Smith with 89 with Steve Smith Sr. and James Palmer. I'm not gonna lie, it's a scene, man. We tape, and I can't, like, half the stuff probably doesn't reach the air that we're talking about. But I don't know if anybody knows ball better than Steve. Honestly, I will say this: he is beloved in that building in Kansas City. He's got a lot of people that absolutely think the world of him in Kansas City.
Football dude.
And so he is, man. And he watches so much film. And I learned so much. Like, he's given me one of his old playbooks, and I like go through his old playbook and like look at, like, you know, like, oh, this I'm constantly learning on that show. We also laugh our asses off, but breaking down the NFL with him is something, man. It is a blast. So yeah, we'll have more stuff coming out every week, man. Like 4 episodes every week we do. So it's been super
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Make sure to go check that out. James, appreciate it, man. Appreciate everybody out there for watching and or listening. Make sure to tell a friend about us, hit that like and subscribe, give us a review, all the good stuff. We appreciate your support. Catch us at kcsn.com. We'll see you next time.